The musical Beetlejuice is showing at the Academy of Music right now. It's going through June 11th. What I did not know is that this is the first stop on a nationwide tour.
How about that?
So we get it first here in
We finally
Philly,
rank.
which is fantastic. But it's going to be going until June of next year. And the gentleman sitting to my left is the title. He has the title role of this show. Please welcome Justin Collette this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
Good
Thank
morning.
you, everybody.
Hey, congratulations on, the title role of this show. That's fantastic.
That's right. That's right. They can't cut me.
No, you're done.
I can't be cut.
They're committed.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
They can replace you. But they won't.
Oh, God, I never even thought about that. Oh, no.
That is a beefy role to take on. It's a big,
so much beef.
boisterous, over the top, other words that start with B type of role.
Yeah, it's every B word for sure.
And it's got to be so much fun to play.
It really, really is. I mean, he's just such an unhinged character that gets to go out and interact with the audience, and you can tell them off, and people love it.
I got to
It's
assume that you
fantastic.
have the element because it's so, whatever you throw into it, you can change it from night to night.
Yeah.
At your discretion, right?
Yeah, it keeps it alive, and it feels like it doesn't get boring.
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
really
Well-
nice. You're doing something 8 times a week. It's really nice to be able to have the audience believe that something is like bespoke and for sure for them. And I talk to them so much during the show that it is.
That's an issue a lot of times. Some people get like worn down if they're. I mean, I couldn't see like doing Inherit the Wind. Tonight,
What's Inherit the Wind?
Like what? Any dramatic play or something.
I love Inherit the Wind.
But you couldn't.
All
do
this wind will be yours someday, my son.
I watched it. I was there on Wednesday night. I was there with my daughter, and the energy in the crowd was great. But and I was curious as to what was ad-libbed and what was improvised and what is in the script, because like you do play with the audience.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
It's very cool.
And it's really, really cool and really funny stuff. But I was like, man, I wonder if that was in the script or if that is just, So just curious, like, do you get to improvise a bunch or no?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have to, too, when the audience decides to speak to you directly. But I don't remember because every show's so different. I don't even know what I did on Wednesday.
So what would cause them to speak to you directly?
Yeah.
Because you're in the
I
audience?
ask myself that question every show, every single show. What is causing you to speak to me directly right now? No, sometimes it's fun. Sometimes they'll cheer at weird moments. Or in DC, there was like a 12-year-old boy sitting in the front row that just kept cheering me on during my last monologue.
Wow.
And so I told him to F off, and everybody cheered, and it was like my dream.
Oh,
It was
that's
a full
great.
dream of mine. I think they feel by the end of the show that Beetlejuice is like a friend of theirs, and they just want to talk to him so badly that Act 2 gets a little dangerous when people want to interject and give me advice.
Well, Beetlejuice is a malevolent character, ultimately.
Yeah, but a little sensitive.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
True, yeah.
I just want someone to look at me.
So with the movie being as classic as it is now, I mean, it's a part of people quote it, and it was Michael Keaton, just a huge role for him, and
Yeah.
obviously they're going to do it again. They're making a sequel to it. How much of what he did on screen informs the character that you're playing, and maybe some of his style? Any of it, or did you take it all on your own, or to have some nods to what he did?
Oh, total nods to what
Okay.
he did. Yeah, no, I wanted to do like a superhero version of Beetlejuice where Alex Brightman, who played him on Broadway, did such a great original job of making that character kind of his own. And I thought going into this that I wanted to take, bits and mannerisms from the both of them, and then just attack it with the same spirit both of them did, which is just, pure animal instinct.
Yeah.
How you react to any situation.
No, I will say it was. Other than like the outfit that you were wearing, I didn't. It was all you and your interpretation of the character.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I find sometimes I do like little, you know what I mean? Like there's like a couple things that he says in the movie that like you can't, they're so addictive and such ear candy that you just want to do it.
Well, and by the way, this musical, I would say, is R-rated.
Oh, okay.
PG-13 is what it is, right?
Is it PG-13?
Yes, I'm looking at the marketing person right now. PG-13.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please bring your child.
Yeah, well, I did. I brought my 17-year-old. I probably would have brought my 14-year-old as well. But there was that. But it was funny, man.
Yeah, it's
It was-
honest.
yeah.
It's honest, and it's not cruel. But you'll learn some stuff.
Does it follow the storyline exactly? Do you guys take some twists and turns with it from the film?
Yeah, no, so Beetlejuice and Lydia have a total of I think 12 minutes of screen time each in the movie. Like his first scene isn't until like an hour plus into the film. The movie is more about the Maitlands, and our show is way more about Beetlejuice and Lydia. It takes more like, I think, the cartoon vibe of like following their relationship and what the two of them want to do. So it really follows Lydia's story. It follows like the narrative of the movie exists and is there, but we really flesh out a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, on a stage version, you default to the Beetlejuice character more than the other stuff and make more sense.
Yeah, totally. I mean, Lydia is such a huge part of the show. It really is. It's a really nice, like, sweet and sour candy where her story is like she's lost her mom and she's going on this really beautiful journey to figure out how to deal with like death and grief in, I think, a very sincere way.
Right.
And then I pop out and I'm hosting, like a game show full of skeletons.
That was great, by the way. And speaking of which, Lydia is played by this young woman named Isabella Esther, who just graduated high school.
Yeah, she's a unicorn.
She's a powerhouse. She's an absolute force up there.
Yeah,
and,
she's an unbelievable person. She's very smart, very kind, very hard work. Like, if I had that job when I was 19, I would not. I don't know how she's doing it. It's incredible.
You mentioned Alex Brightman, and he is a big movie fan and a big he likes cult movies. You are yourself, right? You're a big horror fan, are you not?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and you. What was I reading? My Neighbors Are Dead.
Yeah.
The podcast. I was unfamiliar with this. Explain what that is.
So this is a great podcast. I was doing a show in Detroit, and I went to I did the Second City in Chicago when, oh my God, like forever ago. And then I did a lot of improv and sketch comedy forever before I fell into this world. And someone in that community had come to see the show in Detroit and asked me to be on their show. I think it's a great premise. The idea is they interview somebody who is on like the periphery of a famous horror movie, and
right?
Get their point of view on what's going on. So I think for that one, I played the guy who's in charge of the pool at the Overlook Hotel for The Shining.
You never met
Just
him.
trying to get people to come back and hang out at my pool, despite the horrible stuff that's happened at the hotel.
That's great. That's
Still
awesome.
a great place for your family. Come down to the pool. We got a buffet. Please.
I wanted to ask, you played the lead in School of Rock.
I did.
On Broadway, right?
That's right.
And that had to have been a fun one as well. I mean, there's so much great music and...
You are a musician, yes?
Yeah. I played in a punk band when I was a teen for a while. My first shows were like playing in smoke-filled bars. So then doing the Winter Garden was a fun switch. I actually got a teaching degree as like a backup plan right before I booked that job on Broadway, and it was easier for me to do that than to get a real teaching job. My co-star was 13 10-year-olds. Actually, one of the kids who played Tamika went to the show last night, and there's actually another kid from School of Rock coming to the show tonight. It just was such a fun...
That's got to be wild. Like a real teacher would see.
Yeah, you see all these
come
kids.
back. Yeah.
I mean, I think we would change like 7 or 8 of the kids every like 6 months. So I was there for almost 2 years. So there's like 30, 35 of them that I got to perform on Broadway with, and now they're like full adults. Some of them are like famous. Some of them are going to be like doctors. It's just it's wild. You just feel so proud. I'm really so proud of my kids.
It's great source material. If you follow the trajectory of Michael Keaton, is Batman in your future at some point?
Oh, I can't wait. I'm gonna let's get nuts. Yeah, let's get nuts. I can't believe that's the catchphrase they kept for that Flash trailer. By the way, I thought that was more of like a blip we wanted to forget, not just like it's showtime.
I think it became so like not mocked, maybe perhaps, but it was just like that's kind of a weird delivery. That they're sort of acknowledging it in the because even. Everyone goes, I'm Batman, but even in the trailer, he goes, yeah, I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. Yeah, he's so over the better catchphrase, and then I think straight down the barrel of the camera went, "Let's get nuts," like a dad at a baseball game.
Have you ever had a chance to meet him, Michael Keaton?
No, Michael, please.
Yeah.
Come say hi.
He's just one of my favorite actors, and he nails the Beetlejuice role. But he's like so subtly funny, in the mannerisms. And are you able to be subtly funny at a Broadway show or a show up on stage? Because the way that you deliver comedy on stage is different than on screen.
I think so. I think that because it's Beetlejuice, I get to do such a range. So I think some of the stuff that I get to do is like very broad, very big, very cheesy. Like I can hit those musical theater moments, but I think it adds to a lot of the tension when I break and just do something that I would do if I was in like a club performing for 80 people. Because we're mic'd, so I don't actually have to project like, I'm in a Greek theater 5,000 years ago. So it does pick up on like little mannerisms. And depending on what theater we're playing, like this theater is one of the most gorgeous theaters I've been in my life. But
It is amazing.
It's so tall, and you feel like they're surrounding you at all times that it's very fun to be able to look anywhere and know you're like looking dead in the barrel of someone's eyes.
There's some songs that are, entrenched in films, and you think of the scene immediately. And obviously, there's a couple of them. Harry Belafonte and Beetlejuice in the film. Do they make their way into the musical?
Absolutely.
Okay, I would hope so.
Absolutely, yeah. Harry Belafonte just passed away.
Yeah.
Such a fantastic artist, activist. His music it just gets an applause break when it comes in the show almost every night.
Yeah, those are the only songs that I actually knew going into it. Although, no. There's a song called Dead Mom.
Dead Mom. Of course, you have a teenage daughter, right?
Yeah.
You know Dead Mom.
Well, no. So I have two of my daughters. They love to sing, and so my one daughter was in a singing showcase 2 weeks ago, and one of the girls that was performing did Dead Mom, and I had no idea what it was from, and so that was the first time I heard it. Was some 10-year-old girl at like Kelly Music in Havertown. I was like, okay. And then so when I got to hear Isabella sing it, it just blows your socks off.
Yeah, the thing about the music in this show that I think is very cool is I haven't seen a lot of musicals where they kind of tailor the genre of the song to the character who's singing it. So Isabella's songs, like Lydia's songs, are kind of like punk rock musical theater. Like it's like it opens with a chugging palm muting chord that goes. It's so cool. All my stuff is just stream of consciousness, chaos.
Right.
The Maitlands, who play like the straight characters, I'd say would have like more classical musical theater numbers that are just like straight like Rodgers and Hammerstein stuff. It's really kind of exciting, and the genre doesn't get boring.
So we have a friend who works on Broadway, Justin Guarini, who's from Philadelphia, and he's doing Once Upon a One More Time as his show right now. And he said they've been working on that show for like
years,
6-7 years or something like that.
Normal.
Yeah, and that's what he was telling us.
It's insanity. I was just talking to our director, Alex Timbers, about this the other day, about how long a development process takes in this. And there's just, you'll do like a reading, and then you'll meet with all the producers and be like, I think that was great. Let's do it. They're like, yeah, exactly. We'll do a second reading in 6 months. Is everybody available? And everyone's like, no. And you're like, all right. So it takes forever to get all these people together.
That show, Corn, they were saying took 10 years, a decade that they had been working on it, and now it's a huge hit.
They started working on Beetlejuice in 2010.
Wow.
And you had so you take something that's starting from scratch. You had a source material.
And that's with a movie to inform you where this is
amazing.
Go. Yeah,
when they go just absolutely from the page to the stage without refracting through something else.
Unless you're Andrew Lloyd Webber, who he got School of Rock up in 9 months.
Wow.
Jeez.
Where he just walked in like 2 months into rehearsal and was like, guess what's happening in November?
So if you're an actor, if you're a stage actor, and you go and you start going through this audition process, how can you focus on one thing when you don't know if it will be around in 5 years or not? You know what I mean?
Oh, this job isn't secure.
It's crazy.
This is not a normal job. Yeah. No, you just you hope that some of your stuff gets picked up, and some stuff that you don't. I mean, I auditioned for this for like 10 months.
Wow.
Yeah, just on and off. Yeah, it's like.
Do you even get to a point where you're like, I don't even know if I want this thing anymore?
Every single day of my life. Look in the mirror when I get to work.
Well, I want to ask you a technical question. You mentioned being mic'd. So how many so you have 11 people on stage. Everyone has a separate mic.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
you know what's really complicated too is they're area labs. So they take up everything that's around your face, like they're hanging in front. I mean, that's a different. Wasn't the mic there, but we don't have monitors because of that, because it would give feedback.
So you're not wearing personal transmitting mics; they're covered by.
Yeah, we have wireless personal transmitting mics.
Okay.
They like stick through our wigs and they just kind of hang.
And you don't have in-ear monitors?
No.
So, wow. How do you hear the music and all that?
Muscle memory. We can hear the music because the music gets pumped back in us.
But you can't hear what's coming out of each singer individually.
Not really.
That's got to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait. You answered a question I had for you. You were wearing a wig that whole time? Because
at
one point,
that's not my natural hair.
Well, no,
I'll reveal it here on the Preston and Steve show.
I wasn't sure if it was like hairsprayed, and because at one point your hair changes,
yes,
and then it changes back, and I'm like, how do they do that?
They do that.
There were a couple of times where like you appear on the stage. I'm like, where the hell did he come from? Like, I love that stuff. I mean,
me
blown
too.
away. Yeah. I want to ask about being a professional actor, and you're talking about how long it takes for a production to get on stage, and I think I heard about this with like Dear Evan Hansen. When they changed the Evan Hansen parts out, that like you get like one rehearsal with the cast, and that's it. Is that or is it?
Yeah.
That's it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm the first person to play Beetlejuice on this tour, so I had a full rehearsal process.
Okay.
We were in New York for a few weeks, and then we put the show up in Paducah, Kentucky, which is actually a very nice spot. But for School of Rock, I rehearsed across the street from Winter Garden for 3 weeks, and then if they want to put you on stage, they got to pay like 12 unions to get you like through the front door of that building. So they don't do it until the very last day. So the day that I made my debut, I get what's called like a put-in, where you get to do the show once. And not everybody's always in costume. All the house lights are on.
Oh.
You don't get all the stuff. They only want to pay like half like all the critical unions like that make like trap doors work and stuff. But you get to walk through it once before you go on stage.
And then you go,
That's
oh,
crazy.
wow.
Yeah.
How
and I
nerve-wracking is
stopped
that?
the show 3 times in the rehearsal. I couldn't get my shoes on. I almost broke Brandon Niederauer, who's one of the greatest guitar players on planet Earth. I almost broke his arm.
Wow.
I was supposed to throw him in one of these scenes, and he was like, "Hey, throw me a little harder, Justin." I was like, "No problem." I flipped this kid. All the producers lose it. The director's laughing because he knows the kid told me to throw him hard. I was just like losing my mind.
Something's got to go wrong in every single show, I would think, with so many moving parts. I mean, and I'm not talking about something obvious or glaring, but there's got to be some little mess ups that happen in almost every single show, I would think.
For sure. One of my favorite ones that stopped the show was when we first opened in San Francisco. We have fog for this netherworld scene, and the fog machines broke, and they flooded the whole stage, and you could not see through this mist. And so it's in this netherworld scene where there's all this big, it's like the biggest dance number in the show. So all these dancers are dancing in the mist. And then all you see is like a Miss Argentina poke her little head above all the mist and then get dropped down. So we had to stop the show. And that night we had like a particularly insane crowd. And then one of the stagehands had to go out with a giant fan to try to blow all the smoke off the stage. Just this like amazing like teamster, head of props, walked out with a fan, and he got the biggest applause of the entire show. I came to my dressing room after. He's like, "Hey, they like me a little more than you out there."
It's Justin Collette, if you're just tuning in, and he stars as Beetlejuice, which is at the Academy of Music now through June 11th, and then it moves on. And so this is the beginning. This is the full national tour, and you're in this for the whole year, right?
I'm in this for a whole year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you get breaks between cities from time to time, where you can, or is it just one to another?
It's mostly just, I mean, our day off is technically Monday, but it's a travel day. And honestly, it's the day I hate the most.
Oh, really?
It's you got to like pack up your stuff,
Yeah.
get into a car, get to an airport or drive somewhere,
Yeah.
unpack your stuff. It's horrible.
Are you like an organized, the reason
Most of
because
my
you're moving.
bags, all my stuff is in bags. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, because you're constantly moving. So like,
You'd think. You think I'd sit down one day and be like, let's get this together. Won't happen. I gain more bags and I just throw them into a car and I drive them around.
At a certain point, that's what happens. If ever you do anything, Preston was in a rock band. I did stand up for a while, and if you're you're just like that, forget it.
Yeah. And I think at some point, if I just sat down and got organized and measured stuff and figured it out, but I don't know.
Kathy, he needs a consultant.
yeah, I do. I can come pack in packing cubes for you. Here's your underwear. Here's your socks.
You say packing cubes?
Yeah.
Oh, I have packing cubes. Every time I do laundry, they didn't just get stuffed in the bottom of the suitcase. I'm like, whatever.
Where are you originally from, Justin?
I was born on the east coast of Canada.
Oh, no kidding.
New Brunswick.
Okay.
No one knows where that is, even in Canada. But yeah, I lived there. I went to college there, and then I moved to Chicago for a year. Then lived in Toronto.
And then eventually,
When were you doing Second City, by the way? Because I was there in
2000. I mean, I did the conservatory program there in like 2009 and 2010. And I used to go to a theater called IO. I think it's called Improv Olympic. Or no, it was backwards. She got sued for calling it Improv Olympics. They changed it to
Olympic
IO.
Improv.
Yeah. It was when it was across the street from Wrigley Field, and it was amazing. I got to when I was there, like A.D. Bryant, Cicely Strong, Jordan Klepper, like a bunch of just incredible comedians were making their way up.
That's a good collective.
It was a really good collective, and I got to do. I mean, I don't know if you people know the alt comedy scene, but I got to work a show called TJ and Dave every week for a year. TJ Jagodowski and Dave Pasquazi, just the best improviser comedians in the world.
Have you ever considered making a run at SNL or anything of that nature? Were you, they all come from the world of improv. That's,
Yeah.
all those different troops.
It's the only job that has a worse schedule than I do.
Yeah, it's true. It crushes you.
Yeah, it's where I started wanting to do that. I think. I mean, that's obviously I think why I went to Second City was I just liked. I was obsessed with I like Will Ferrell. Like that whole cast of Saturday Night Live was right in the sweet spot for me. And I thought they were so funny, and that's what got me into improv and got me into sketch and doing that. And then just the more sketch I did, I think I kind of branched out into like writing. I was doing everything.
Right.
I didn't care what broke. I would have taken any job, I think, is the real answer to that.
And you've done writing. You've done it for an animated show?
Oh, yeah. I've written for cartoons. I was in a sketch comedy group up in Canada that we were, briefly worked with, like Bruce McCulloch from Kids in the Hall.
Yes, he's great.
Yeah, I mean, those guys
Did you
are
see
also
the
funny.
new series?
Yeah, one of the girls in my sketch group actually was the showrunner for that, the head writer for it.
He picked it right up, man. They didn't lose a beat.
It's so good.
Yeah, I was
good.
blown away.
And they did full frontal nudity.
Full frontal nudity
Love
in the
those guys.
first episode.
Yeah, they were cops when they were doing that, right?
I got to see it. I love
Couple of
Kids in the Hall.
naked cops.
Justin, this is probably a stupid question, but the writer's strike doesn't affect your line of work at all, does it?
Well, it's not affecting my exact line of work right now, but I don't know if you've been following. There's like a bunch of drama around the Tonys about
Yes.
whether or not they could have the WGA for a while.
They're going to do it, though, right? They're going to do it in a modified version. They're just going to put them in a bin at the front door.
Did you deserve this, Tony? There's a bin outside of it. Some of you have earned them. Some of them have not.
Oh, so you know Broadway.
Yeah, I don't. I've vaguely kept an eye on it where they're saying like stage writers have stepped in to cover. I don't know if they're in a different. I don't know.
They're working it somehow because there's some
They're
shows
working it out.
that are on and are clearly somebody's writing something, but they're getting a pass. I don't know, how that's
I
working.
think because our show is already written and up, it's like allowed. Anything that was like written before, I think, is allowed to be
Right, it's
produced,
been-
but nothing can be written after and then be produced.
I think that's probably
is
right.
how it's-
Yeah,
I think
that
it's how
sounds
it's
about right.
working.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we want to point people in the direction of the show. Beetlejuice at the Academy of Music. It's now through June 11th. Has the Casey Boy seal of approval.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely loved it. And you can get tickets at kimmelculturalcampus.org. Thanks for coming in this morning. It's really
Thank you for
nice
having
to meet you.
me.
We appreciate
Nice to
it.
meet you guys.
And
Yeah.
good luck with everything.
Thank you.
All right, let's hear it for Justin Collette, guys.